All right, we're live, and that is not Ryan. So if you're thinking, Ryan, did you grow a little bit? No, it's not Ryan. It's actually Ian Bradley Harris Johnson. Sorry, I'm thinking football now because it is football season, and football season for a lot of people means deer season,
hunting season,
but
and it's getting cold.
For the arms merchant and us gun guys, it means tax-free season.
Yep, tax-free and sales season.
All right, so this coming weekend, for all you guys out there, if you're just joining in, Ian Bradley Johnson, he works for the arms merchant. And why is he here? Because he's a gun guy, he's a contributor to our newsletter, and he's here to announce tax-free weekend, yes, on guns, gear, all that kind of stuff that Arms Merchant sells. What do you got?
All right, so every year, Louisiana does what they call their tax-free gun holiday. And traditionally, the state would absorb their percentage of the tax, and your local parish or county, for our other folks out there, would absorb their half. Now, this year, the state has chosen not to do it.
Okay, they're not doing it.
They're not doing it at all.
But
if someone comes in the shop or calls and orders anything from my shop, I don't care if it's a box of 22 ammo or a $10,000 shotgun, you will not pay a single tax.
Okay.
No taxes.
Now, we've got W. Clark. You are from Salt Lake City. So if you're listening to this and you want to participate in this and they have a gun that you want or some ammo or anything like that that you don't want to be taxed on, they can still get it, right?
All you have to do is call us and order it over the phone, and we will ship it to your local dealer.
So, or can they reach out to you on Facebook? Because I know you guys got a really good Facebook.
So, our phone lines this weekend will be slammed. If you can, go like us on Facebook and shoot me something over there so that I can then get in contact with you.
Yeah. Now, a lot of these guys, they're looking for a certain gun because you guys sell new and consignment guns.
A lot of consignment.
A lot of consignment guns. How many guns have you guys got in over the past few weeks?
So I would wager to say that over the past 2 weeks, we've gotten in about 100 guns. And just in the last week, we've gotten in about 65, 70.
Really?
And I have another 30 showing up either this evening right before we close or tomorrow morning right before I open.
And you guys actually have a special guest bringing some other guns in.
We do. Jason Klausner from Lipsy's, he will be coming in, and he will be bringing in some exclusives that we can order directly through them for you. So if you want to come in, talk to him about the exclusives and all of that good stuff, he will be there all day tomorrow.
So he's bringing some guns in to sell and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And so you guys are eating the tax this weekend.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
And these guys that are watching and for some odd reason aren't going to participate this weekend, but they're like, well, my paycheck comes in next week, so I can do this. There's a special deal next weekend, too.
Next weekend, you can still save on just the parish tax. So you will only pay half the tax you would normally pay. Right. You won't get the full 100% tax-free as we're doing this weekend, but you will still save something next weekend.
Okay, so tax-free guns, ammo, holsters.
Everything that's in the shop. Used guns, new guns, special orders. We're also running a deal right now. If you buy any Benelli or Beretta shotgun that is brand new, I don't care if I have to special order it or if it's in the shop, I will give you a free case of 250 shells of Dove loads.
Are you serious?
For Dove season.
Well, Dove season opens Saturday. Well,
that's right.
So I'm going back to Oklahoma. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there, but I'll be by the shop tomorrow.
I can say the worst part about my job is that for the past 6 years, I have missed the opener Dove season because it always falls on our tax-free holiday, which is naturally all hands on deck.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, we're okay with
fine.
that.
Yeah.
So being behind the counter, you see all manner of things, and there's a lot. There's a few guns that have come in that you've actually brought. You have a list, a small list. This is a small portion.
This is just a small portion.
Yeah, what you can expect to see or message Ian about on their Facebook page for this weekend. So what guns on your list do you have and you'll share the prices with?
So just as an example, one has no idea what's going to come in every day into the shop, and these are guns that literally just walk in off the street. Okay, and probably every couple months we get in a big collection of between 100 and 200 guns, and it could just be one guy bringing in one gun. But for example, we've got a Smith & Wesson Model 19 that I would rate in about 90% condition. No box, but it is pinned and recessed. 6-inch barrel and 357 for $700.
That's $700
$700 out the door.
Now, is there any transfer fees associated with this weekend or anything like that?
So this weekend, if you don't live here locally, you will have to cover shipping costs, but that's it.
All right. I just want to get that out there for these guys looking at this and going, holy crap, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
So,
we've got a Benelli Nova pump that is brand new, unfired, in the box, still has the stickers on it, that just showed up actually about an hour before I left to come here for $295.
A Benelli, wow.
Yeah.
See.
3.5-inch gun, great duck gun, just black synthetic. Really, really great guns. Yeah. You're saving hundreds of dollars, and you're getting a brand new gun.
So out of that list, out of the list that you have, what is the one gun that you, Ian, are tempted to buy?
The Savage Model 11 Scout.
Why?
So I read Jeff Cooper growing up, and so naturally I like the whole scout rifle concept, you know, the one rifle do all. And I've played around with getting one over the years, but never really actually did it, so to say. And a guy came in yesterday, right before we closed, and he brought in about 20 Savage rifles that were brand new in the box. Now, these rifles were demo guns for Savage, so they might have a couple scratches on the stock, there might be a blemish on the finish, but you really have to look close to see. So naturally, they couldn't be sold as brand new.
Right.
But he put really great prices on them. This gun is brand new in the box. It's 308. It's got the flat darker stock. It's $495.
$490. So you're going to be out $495.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Basically.
All right. So we've got some people chiming in. You guys, if you guys have any questions from behind the counter, ask the guy because he knows. But I want to get into some stories, and you were talking a little bit before about some of the crazy guns that come in, and some that guys obviously really don't want to let go, but they have to. What are a few that really stand out for you?
So my all-time favorite was this young guy came in, and I understand why he needed to sell it. He needed money for college, and his grandfather was a volunteer American pilot for the British RAF during the starting days of World War II before we entered the war in 1940. And the RAF had a volunteer American squadron that fought over London. And he opened up the briefcase, and he had his grandfather's RAF-issued Webley revolver in .380 Kynoch. He had original Kynoch ammunition. For those of y'all who don't know, Kynoch was a British... they made all of the British, like large caliber, double gun ammo and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see that as the maker of the military ammunition. And it had his logbook, it had his flight plans, it had just all sorts of cool stuff. It was a complete package. The gun had the original holster with it, the original lanyard. It's all these little things like that that really make it for a collector. And he ended up not selling it.
Thank goodness.
He ended up saying, let me go home and think about it and see if there's another way I can make money. Because, you know, when we told him the historical significance of this, you know, we're not just here to get your gun to sell it. I had people walk in all day long, actually, that just want me to tell them what they have.
Right.
Which is really important to me because it doesn't take any of my time, and, you know, I get to let them know what they have, which is really great.
Well, that's, I mean... It's stories like that. You were telling me that story, and I was like, "Why is he selling it? Why is he selling it? Don't sell that. Don't sell it." And someone suggested that he give it to the D-Day Museum.
Yes.
And why is that? I mean, you kind of caution me against that.
Most museums that are very big have a tendency to sometimes sell acquisitions just for the upkeep of the museum. So I have absolutely nothing against giving something to a museum.
Right.
But, you know, if you're going to get rid of it, at least get some cash for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But another really, really cool one that came in, a guy came in with a Winchester Model 94 carbine in 30-30. It dated to 1922. And it had no finish left. It had black wood from years of oil. The bore was all frosted out, barely any rifling. But what was cool about it is the guy's grandfather was an Italian immigrant who fought in World War I and somehow made his way to America right after the war in the early 20s, and came to New Orleans, which was a main port of entry for a lot of immigrants back then also. And he bought this rifle because he was working at the time for a biologist who wanted to go on an expedition in the Amazon. And he bought this rifle specifically for the purpose of having it on the expedition. And what was cool is this guy brought in black and white photos of caiman alligators, wild pigs.
With the gun?
With the gun.
Oh my gosh, that would be cool.
It was black and white photos of his grandfather holding up the same rifle with, you know, like a caiman or an anaconda or something like that. Well,
I can't wrap my mind around like getting rid of like a family heirloom like that. That means more.
Some people don't have heirs, or children. This gentleman in particular, if my memory serves me right, because this was a few years back, he didn't have any children.
Right.
And he said, I want this to go to someone who will truly appreciate it. Because, you know, some people don't like guns. Guns aren't for everybody. But he wanted that gun to go to someone that would appreciate it and cherish it.
Right.
And, you know, we got him a great price for it. And someone got the photos with it and all of that.
That's cool.
Right now in the shop, speaking of old lever guns, we actually have a Winchester Model 1892 in 32-20, first year production, full octagon barrel with custom double set triggers, special ordered from Winchester.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it going for? What's the price on it?
$3,100.
Really? That's out of my price.
But here's what's cool about these older guns. So Winchesters, you'll find all sorts of variations that you won't find as cataloged standard items. And the reason is back in the day, you could call Winchester and you could say, hey, I want a model 1886. I want it in 4570. I want it with a shotgun style butt plate. I want color case hardened receiver. This front sight, this barrel length, completely custom. Yeah. And for enough money, Winchester would actually make you that rifle. Because back then, everything was handmade anyways.
That's true.
So it's really neat when we get to see these special items come in because, you know, it makes my day as a gun guy. You know, I always joke around, I don't have a job. I just get to go to work and
you get
play
to
with
talk
guns.
Guns. That's all you get to do.
Exactly. I get paid to talk guns, and it's awesome.
Okay, so you guys take in consignment guns, obviously, from some of the cool stories.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of horror stories out there. For these guys looking to say, I don't know what I've got, I really need to get rid of some guns.
Yeah.
Let's practice. We're gonna practice for you guys. This gun is not gonna be in the sale, so don't even ask.
No.
Oh, by the way, someone actually, I'm gonna give it to Carl Hibberts. He has the best idea out here. He started a GoFundMe page to start financing some of his purchases this weekend. So if you wanna like support Carl,
that's a good idea.
Go on
I
there
do that too.
and give him some money because he needs some more guns. So I bring in my gun. I say, you know, I just don't shoot it anymore. What's the proper procedure for bringing in a gun in a gun shop?
Okay, so if it is inside of a case like this, obviously make sure it's unloaded before you bring it in. And when you bring it in, if you would, set the case down, turn the case toward whoever is working behind the counter, and
so it'd be like this.
Yes.
Like here.
And let the gun shop worker take it out of the case and clear it. Also, if you don't have a case, if you would walk in, finger off the trigger, good trigger discipline, don't point the muzzle at anything or anyone. That's probably...
It kind of goes back to the gun safety rules, I think,
yes, right? Basic gun safety rules don't go away, you know.
Okay, so let you handle it. Like,
yes.
Here.
Yes.
You're going to be the one handling anyway. You're going to get offloaded for me.
And also, for our future customers that might want to send us some guns to sell, even if you don't live here locally, we do accept guns from out of state to sell on consignment. And here's why consignment's awesome, okay? My shop doesn't buy, my shop doesn't trade. We do all consignment. When it sells, the owner of the firearm gets 80% of the sale price.
Yeah.
We take a 20% commission for the shop. Now, what that gives you is probably more money than most gun shops are going to give you just buying it outright. And you know that I'm invested in getting top dollar out of it also, so I'm going to get you the most money.
Yeah,
basically.
And they're really good at it. I mean, I've brought guns in with you, and
you brought some great guns in.
Any time that you've either had a buyer or anything like that, they said, "Hey, you call me up. Hey, they offered this.
Yes.
Would you either take it?"
Yes.
So you're not out there just taking whatever deals you can.
No,
and that's why I like bringing guns into you guys, because
we will not sell it for anything less than what you have verbally agreed to on the contract, unless I call you and you tell me, you know, you will take an offer. So, by the way, if you see a gun that you call about and you would like to make an offer on that price or make an offer on multiples, I do that all day long.
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't like getting a deal?
Yeah, no kidding. It's a deal this weekend. Now, Poetry on a Cracker asked, were all the Savage rifles in 308 and what models?
So only 2 of them were in 308. There was that 111, or I'm sorry, the 11 Scout and an Axis in wood for, I believe, only 225.
Wow.
With a scope. And then everything else was in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh,
we actually have, and it's a very good deal, a Savage Model 11 Long Range Hunter. Now, this will not have the adjustable cheek piece as the new Long Range Hunter. It's just going to have the older style stock. Gun's brand new. It still has the Savage stickers on it. It's in 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's $450.
Come on. That's ridiculous.
So,
all right, before we get out of here, I want to hear a couple stories, and I'm sure our guys have. What's the most ridiculous thing someone's brought in? Like, something that you're like, oh my gosh.
Define ridiculous.
Like, did they come in dragging a little cannon?
I have had people bring in cannons.
See? That's ridiculous.
I don't deal with them personally just for insurance reasons. You know, I'm not a gunsmith, so the cannon in question, I wasn't able to insure if it was loaded or unloaded, so I wasn't comfortable leaving it for sale.
Anybody got a match?
But probably the coolest gun that has ever come in the shop, and unfortunately it's not in the shop anymore, we had a 1/3 scale Colt 1890s Gatling gun, but in 22.
I remember that one.
It was a 22 caliber Gatling gun. It was fully functioning. It fed from a 70 round gravity drum on the top. It was all machined out of solid brass. The only steel on it, I believe, were the springs, firing pins, and the barrels. But craftsmanship out of this world. It was an amazing piece.
Yeah. You guys have a lot of cool stuff. Anything you want to caution these guys with? I mean, as far as, you know, taking guns in or anything like that.
So if you have a firearm and you're not sure what it's worth, but you want to move it, I'm all for gun shows. Gun shows are awesome, but I've heard so many horror stories of guys saying, well, I went to the gun show and the guy offered me $500 for it. I thought it sounded like a good deal.
Right.
And then I end up informing them that it was a $5,000 rifle. So that's why yes, multiple times. So that's why consignment's awesome, because I'm going to tell you what the gun's actually worth, because we both have an interest in selling it for the highest price to get the most amount out of it, versus someone that just wants to buy it for a cheap price.
Yeah, so they can turn it.
Yes.
Or they know what you have.
So even if you're not local, please go to a shop that does consignment. They will tell you what your gun is worth, what a real market value is, and what you can get for it.
Okay, now let's tell. We're gonna flash it up on the screen where they can go to find your website, but the Facebook page is just Arms Merchant.
Facebook page, the Instagram, which is at Arms Merchant LLC, and shoot me a message on there. Also, guys, if you don't live here locally and I don't happen to have anything in the store that you like right now, but you are a collector. For example, I got a guy in Oklahoma. He buys every Colt Single Action Army that I get.
Really?
Yeah. I got a guy in Texas that buys all of my L.C. Smith pre-war shotguns.
Okay.
You know, if there's something you like, if there's something you've been looking for years, please shoot me a message, leave me a phone number. I will enter it into our system. And then when these guns come in, what I do is I cross-reference those. Okay. So I'll be able to call you and let you know.
Perfect. All right. Well, if that's it from all the comments, and that's Ian, Arms Merchant. I'm KJ, Gun Talk. Be safe out there, and man, start messaging.
Let me
Find out
know,
those
guys.
deals.